Hey everybody, Shiv here. Alright, so we're going to talk about Paladin. More specifically, Murloc Paladin. Now, when I saw Murloc Knight, I went, oh? I'm a huge Murloc fan. Anybody who knows me will say, yeah, Shiv and Murlocs, yeah, it's an unhealthy obsession. It's true. But I really wanted to do some stuff with Paladin and this new Murloc. So I started looking at the different builds I could adapt and, substitute here, throw in there. And I tried a couple different iterations. I tried more of a mid-range approach to where, hide behind taunts. That actually worked pretty decently to where, Inspire. I did a pure Inspire deck one. That one, we're not going to talk about it. But there's two ways you can go about using the Murloc Knight that I found to be the most effective. One is in a more mid-range deck where you have taunts and you can hide behind, and the other is the more aggressive one that'll piss people off. So let's talk about that one. Alright, so I present to you the MURKADIN deck. Now, as you can tell from the deck list here, you got two Abusive Sergeants, the Grimscale, because you have to have Grimscale. You got Leopard Gnomes, you've got a Silence, you've got Shielded Mini-Bots. Starting to look a lot like your typical Spamadin. Oh my god, it's even got Divine Favor. Yes, I took Spamadin and retweaked it. Now, if you don't know what Spamadin is, it's the one where they basically lay out all these little low-cost creatures and end up just shrekking the shit out of you. The idea here is you make them think you're actually playing that type of archetype, which, Leopard Gnomes is a highly aggressive card. Shielded Mini-Bots is one of the best 2-drops out there, in my personal opinion, especially for Paladin. So it works very, very well. You also got the Abusive Sergeants in there to kind of push through stuff. And, you got the Silence Removal. And Divine Favor really helps this out. See, previous to this, Murlocs were pretty much like a Warlock only because the draw mechanic of their hero power really helped make that deck viable. Then they gave it to Shaman, and Shaman just said, "You what, mate?" Wanted nothing to do with it. So, yeah. Luckily, this one card kind of brings it back to swing. In the early days of CBT, there was a lot of theory crafting involving Sword of Justice plus Murlocs, as it would be a huge value. So here, we have one. Only because I only have one. That's size one. So, we have one, and we get some really cool synergies with this. The Sword of Justice plus the Murloc Knight. You notice how that comes down in that order. So then the next turn, you hero power, boom, a 2/2, plus a Murloc that's also going to get buffed. And if, say, it's a War Leader, that War Leader now becomes a 4/4. And your Murloc Knight, let's see, he's a 4/5, plus 2 on that, becomes a 6/7. Yeah. Lots of fun, guys. Lots of fun. However, the moment he hits the board, people are going to go, oh, fuck no. So it's better to actually play him on turn 6. That way you can at least get the hero power combination off with it. But here's the funny thing. This deck doesn't even need that to win. And, yeah, we're going to take a look at a match right now. So we're going to be playing up against everybody's favorite child molesting class, Priest. Yeah, I know, there's a bunch of people sitting there going, oh shit, you can't do that. Oh, I can. Alright, so this hand, not overly great. We're going to have to use the Abusive Sergeant as a 1-drop. Having the Silence on demand is always a fun thing, especially against Priest, because, they're really fond of doing some nasty shenanigans. So we go for the Abusive Sergeant, makes the most sense. Get a board presence out there. We're kind of expecting him to play Northshire Cleric. But then we see this, it's like, okay, so maybe he's going Northshire plus Power Word Shield to get a Lightwell. And now I'm thinking, okay, that's going to really cause me a lot of problems as I'm trying to push, his face every chance I get. So I've got to take that out of the mix. Definitely got to take that out of the mix. There's so many new cards that came from TGT that I really don't want Lightwell interacting with. So he goes for the Power Word Shield. he's like, alright, I'm going to make this thing pretty big. Not much you can do about it. So I get that little fear. We all know the fear. So I'm just going to reduce this down. So if he does decide to try to double it up, he only gets, you know, a 6/6 versus a 14. And he actually went a totally different direction. This is probably the smartest direction he could have gone. He opts to go for the Velen's Chosen. Because it makes sense. Alright, so he goes for the trade there. Luckily, we have this handy dandy little True Silver champion. We'll trade a token and go to the face. Again, always trying to keep some pressure on face. This is a very important aspect of this deck. You can do some trades here and there, and you probably will have to do some trades here and there, but always try to get damage to the face. Now, so far, he hasn't seen any Murloc, so he doesn't really know what's going on until he mind games. At which point, I'm like, oh, fuck, my plan's ruined. But, little interesting thing about mind games here. So that gives us 3. I opt to just take the damage to the face. I know some of you might have said, oh, you should trade the owl and just kept 4 to the face. But I'd rather have the board, because then that will force him to use a consecrate, or not a consecration, a holy nova. Or maybe even Light's Bomb, which, you know, possible. So he goes for the Northshire Cleric. This is, again, a smart play. Yep, he doesn't want that Shadow Madness. He's like, nope, fuck you. So he mitigates the hell out of my board. But we have Murlocs. Shit don't mitigate nothing against us. So again, another 2 to the face. This is getting pretty overwhelming for him. So he goes for the Thought Steal, and probably not what he wanted to get. He goes for the Muster for Battle. But we have the Consecration in hand, and we've got our favorite Leper Nymph, golden at that. So again, we clear his board, build our board, and hit him for 5. It's not looking very good for him here. That weapon has actually done him more harm than anything else. He's considering his play. Taunt is a very, very good play. He's going to heal himself up to 10. And he should just pass right here. But he doesn't. Which leaves us with the awesome play of now he still thinks he might be safe, but the Abusive Sergeant gives us just what we need for lethal. So even in a trading board, this deck does very, very well. In slower games, you may want to play it slower. Sure. This is where the Murloc Knight really comes to shine. Now, this is one of the first stable iterations of the deck. As I test, I'm going to be interchanging other cards in and out of this. Possibly even throwing in a single Defender of Argus in there. It's just figuring out what I have to cut. Some people might ask, why 2 Divine Favors? Because 1's good, 2 gives you that consistency, which can really, really help. Especially in the control matchups, because you're going to want to just burn as much as you can, then refill, do it again. Alright? So, this deck has gone up against like Handlock, it's gone up against Control Warrior. It actually beat Control Warrior before he got Variant out, which was hilarious, I might add. So the deck definitely has some potential. But again, it's still in its rough state. A little bit more refinement could actually make this deck a serious ladder contender. But anyway, so if you like this video, please like, subscribe. Also, down in the description will be the deck link. So go there, check it out. If you like it, boom, give it a positive. Always makes my life a little bit simpler. And if you'd like to add some commentary to it, go right ahead, either on the deck list or in the comment section on this video. Till then, this is Shiv saying stay safe, have fun, and may RNGesus bless you. Peace.